I am Rhonda Graves, and I am the cheer coordinator for the Pasadena Panthers Youth Cheer Program. I was born in Los Angeles, and I was raised in the Pasadena area. As a result of my daughter and my nieces having a desire to cheer when they were 5 years old, and at the time the program was starting to develop on the cheer side, and I signed up as a volunteer, and that's how it all started. I believe in 1996 or 97. So the Panther program has had different phases. Back when we started back in the early 90s, we were the only youth cheer and football program around at that time. So as a result of that, all of our cheer athletes were in one program. As things happen and occur, other programs develop. So we have fluctuated from 95 cheerleaders. We have even been as low as 36 cheerleaders, but we do average about 49 cheer athletes or what have you. So there's changes for different reasons. Sometimes the young ladies don't want to do the football games, and cheer is a big business, so you have a lot of programs that come along, whether it be at the youth level, the rec level, or even all-star. So it just depends on what type of experience the household wants for their cheer athlete. Yes, for me, they have to be able to spell Pasadena Panthers. It's a 2.0 requirement, but in order for them to compete in cheer competition, we do press for them to at least have a 2.5 because of the various practices, some of the community service that's required of us. So it's real important that they're able to balance the academics as well as the competition side of being a cheer athlete with the Panthers. We just competed in the Aloha International Cheer Competition in Hawaii. This last competition was the Panthers' second participation with the program. We actually qualified last year during the 2015-2016 season for the international competition. At the time, only 2 of our teams had qualified, which would have been our Gremlin division and our junior midget. That's one of our smaller teams and our older teams. So there is a qualifying score that you must have. And the challenge initially was because we had so many new girls to the program that had very little cheer experience, but that wasn't so much a hurdle for us because we do have very good cheer coaches in terms of the choreography or what have you. So the path was challenging because we had to qualify a third team, which is called our mascots. So it required a lot of practices, it required a lot of changes, it required us going to some other competitions to have other judges look at what we needed to improve on. So it was a lot of hard work, and collectively, not just our girls, it required a lot of our parents. Our parents sacrificed a great deal. So collectively together, we pulled it together, but there was times where it seemed like it wasn't going to happen, but we stood firm on what we wanted in terms of our girls having a good experience in terms of competing in Aloha. Each team competed in 2 categories. Which was show cheer and hip hop. Our mascots took first place in both categories. Our Gremlins took first place in both categories, and our junior midget team took first in both categories. Parent participation in any program is a must. You can't compromise it. Now, for me, I do understand when we talk about 20 plus years of volunteer service, I do understand that families have various challenges and commitments in order for their kids to participate in various youth programs, whether it be job. It used to be a time where everybody traditionally worked 9 to 5 or maybe a 7 to 4 schedule. Now we have, schedules where it's swing, we have graveyard shifts or what have you. But regardless of what your availability is, it may not be hands-on directly at the practice field or directly at a competition. Parent involvement stems from getting them to practice on time, being committed to the program, understanding what we're trying to do. If there is an area of the program that you don't understand, communicate it to who's in charge or what have you, so you can discuss it. taking a look at some other avenues to make it possible, because at the end of the day, 2% of parent participation is better than none whatsoever. So for the Panther program, we're fortunate because we're like a family. We're not a big program where we have hundreds of cheer athletes, and that's a blessing in itself, because I don't know if we're ready for that. But at the same time, what we do have, we're fortunate because we have a large variety of talent in terms of what our parents can offer. Some of our parent participation hours don't require you to physically be on the site at the practice. Some of the things can be at home, making telephone calls, going out looking for our hip hop outfits. So it is a team effort, but you have to at least have 2%. I know it sounds like it's nothing, but when you have 40 parents giving up 2% of participation hours, it makes a difference, and it makes it a little easier for the team that's trying to guide the program. We will be traveling again, probably not to Hawaii, but we plan to travel possibly to the West. So in order for us to do that, we all need to kind of recuperate, recharge, and revent. That's our finances, our energy level, and just give our girls an opportunity, a chance to go do some things like track. If they want to do track, do softball, something to branch away from cheer just a little bit, so then when we come back together, the desire and the eagerness will still be present.